So I finally got a t-shirt that represents my booktube schedule. Yeah. Ironically though, I'm not that late with this video. I'm doing my what I read in May video, and it's only like the 6th of June, so the first two books I read in May I'm going to put together because it was Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom. I should have done that way because that makes more sense. And oh my gosh, my babies, I loved it so much. I've said this before, but I just love Leigh Bardugo's writing. I think it's so atmospheric, it's so visual, and she creates this city of Ketterdam that kind of draws inspiration from like Venice, but also kind of Germany, Amsterdam. There are so many different influences in it, and it's just so tangible. It's like you can feel yourself in that environment. It's very gritty, very brutal, very harsh, but just so evocative, and like it just envelops you, this whole new world, and I loved it so much. There's also an amazing cast of characters. I really love good ensemble books where each character really shines through and there's not one that's kind of like underdeveloped or that you don't really care about. But my personal favourites were Nina and Wylan. I love them so much. But every character really shines through and you really do care about them, and that really matters because it's basically a kind of a heist novel set in the Grisha universe, and because it's a heist, you know, there's kind of high stakes, it's very dangerous, and really caring about the characters makes those moments so much stronger because you're really rooting for them and you're really engaged in the story. And honestly, every book by Leigh Bardugo just leaves me wanting 10 more books set in the Grisha universe. I absolutely love these books and I hope she doesn't stop writing them. Next up, I read Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn, who is the author of Gone Girl, which I've also read and I really loved. It's taken me a while to find my way back to like kind of crime fiction. Not find my way back, I was never like that into it really. I read Gone Girl and I read Girl on the Train kind of like everybody else, but I forgot how much I actually love this genre and I really need to seek out more books in kind of the crime like mystery genre. But what I like about this book, and I think all the crime fiction that I've read, is that it doesn't just focus on the kind of whodunit of the case. It's not just about who killed who or the details and the kind of gory parts of the murder. It's actually about the person that's narrating the story. And in this case we have Camille, who is a reporter, and she's sent back to her hometown to investigate the murders of two young girls, and she has to stay with her family who she has a very kind of toxic and twisted relationship with. So it's about her kind of going back to her roots and seeing how that affects her mental state, which is negatively, spoiler alert, and also her trying to kind of come to terms with what's happened in her life and what's happening in her town, and also trying to figure out, you know, who killed the two young girls. Surprisingly, because of its length, it's a very detailed and very complex novel. There's a lot of threads that you kind of get pulled along with, and it's very immersive. Because it's in a first person narrative as well, you're basically in Camille's head the whole time. Every new bit of information you find out comes through her. You find out about her past. It's like she's kind of speaking to you through this novel, and you really get to know her inner workings in a way, and I found that really enjoyable. I really love like character driven stories. I really love like immersive stories. I just really love this. I think the tone was perfect and it was so well written, and I really recommend it. Lastly, in May I read This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab, and this review might take me a while because I need to get my head around a few things. It took me quite a long time to get into the grips of this novel because it's quite a complex world that's being set up. It's a city. Okay, watch me try and explain this, it's going to be really entertaining. There's a city called Verity, and there's a split down the middle, and there are two halves that have a really shaky truce. And the city is plagued by 3 types of monsters: the Korsai, the Malkai, and the Sunai, and they each have different kind of properties? Traits, that's better. So the first half of the novel is kind of understanding why the two halves were warring, why there's a truce, why the truce is unstable, and also introducing you to the different types of monsters and our 2 main characters, Kate and August. Kate comes from one half of the city that's kind of wealthy and kind of controls the monsters, and August is a Sunai. He is a monster and is working with the humans to try and stamp out crime on his side of the city that's a lot more run down, a lot more brutal and dangerous. And it's kind of like a Romeo and Juliet type thing, but except without the romance. Well, not in this novel anyway, I know there's a sequel. But they're kind of thrown together. August is sent on a mission to watch Kate, and then something happens at their school together, and that kind of forms an unlikely alliance between them, and they kind of find out together like the true nature of monsters and humans and the differences between the two, because the lines turned out to be very blurred. And I really liked that concept. I really liked the kind of what makes us monsters, what makes us humans type theme. I enjoyed the second half a lot more, because the first half you're trying to take in a lot of this information, and because it's a dual perspective it shifts quite quickly between Kate and August, so you feel like you're just getting to know one character and then it flips to the other character, and I found that a little bit difficult to keep track of. Once the inciting incident at the school happens and the kind of adventure between the two characters takes off, I really loved it. And despite what I said about it being a very kind of slow build up, I do see why that was needed. It's a very detailed world, and you really do need to have that background information before all the kind of action happens. And I don't think there was any way that V.E. Schwab could have cut any of the beginning parts out, and I wouldn't have wanted her to either. I really did actually enjoy learning about the history and the city, but I just wanted to put out kind of not a disclaimer, but just kind of say that if you're working through the first part of the book and you're waiting for something to happen, don't worry, it does. And I really love the way it wrapped up, and I really am looking forward to the next book in this duology, I think it is. So yeah, I want to see what happens to them. Thanks so much for watching this video. As always, let me know what you've been reading in May. Sorry, I'm off uni now, so all the months and the days are just blurring into one. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye.